This is going to be episode 121 for you guys today. Once my co-host Rob Cerasuolo joins in, we will go ahead and get today's episode started. What's up, Rob?
What's up?
Should be a good episode, man, but I'm not looking forward to the first segment. But we just got to go ahead and roll with it.
What?
Because I'm going to have to talk about them boys.
Oh, yeah. That too. Oh, yeah.
No, spoiler alert, there will be no Cowboys this week on the Hot Podcast. All right, so since it's going to be me and you, we go ahead and get things started.
All
right. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Thomas Irie from Onthehop Podcast. Today, this will be episode 121 for you guys. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Cerasuolo. And it's just going to be us two tonight. So let's go ahead and get episode 121 started. We'll be sharing the first segment. We'll be sharing our biggest surprise of week 3 of the NFL season. So, Rob, what was your biggest surprise from week 3 of the NFL season?
Well, I got a couple, man. I got at least 3.
Okay.
But we'll start with my personal favorite, the Miami game, the Miami-Denver game. Oh, my God. 70 points. How many yards? They had over 700 yards of total offense.
Yes.
Like 10 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're scoring a lot.
My God. I didn't even get to watch the game. I was pissed about it because I saw the highlights, but I was out doing something on Sunday before, or pretty much for the whole 1 o'clock game. So I was sick that I missed that, to be honest. But wow, 70 points. Like, I knew that Miami offense was good, but that is just crazy to put up on any NFL team, you know. And the Broncos, I feel like their defense isn't that bad. Like, I mean, at least not like the worst in the league or anything. So to see the Dolphins put up 70 on them, oh my God. Like, both the Mostert and the rookie, I don't even know how to say his name, A-Chain or something like that. Yeah, I think it's A-Chain, but they combined for like over 90 points in fantasy. Like, that's crazy. I picked up the rookie A-Chain in a couple leagues. By the way, if you haven't done that, go do that right now.
Bring on the Dolphins downfall. It's crazy.
Somebody has them in our league. I think it's Tenarius, but yeah, anyways, that was just crazy. Like, Tua is squarely in the MVP conversation right now. I didn't think I'd be saying that after week 3. So kudos to him for just balling out there. I know his offense is pretty damn good. Everyone's fast, and they did that without Waddle. Waddle wasn't even on the field. So
they might have dropped 100 if he was playing.
That's video game numbers. Honestly. And I saw a stat where Tua is getting he's the fastest quarterback to get the ball out in the league right now. But and his yards per attempt is like really high too. So it's pretty much a cheat code. But yeah, that game surprised me, and Sean Payton and his Broncos, man, they might quit on that man after that game. I don't know. I can't just get beat by 70-20 on national television.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that's one surprise for me. Another surprise. Don't worry, I'll spare your team for now. Honestly, you might as well just go ahead and get into that when it's your turn.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get into that. But another surprise then would be the Texans game against the Jags. CJ Stroud has looked awesome so far.
Mm-hmm.
He's at over 900 passing yards in the first 3 games. Like, as a rookie, that's pretty damn impressive. And, like, honestly, I thought he should have went number 1. I thought the Panthers should have took CJ Stroud. That was who I thought they would take, like, leading up to the draft. Like, I know, like, everyone was like, Bryce Young, but I was so convinced that they were going to take Stroud. But they didn't. But yeah, he looks awesome so far. And to beat Trevor Lawrence in an ascending Jags team like that by 20 points. Wow, they are a lot better than I thought they were. And really, it just shows, like, once you have a good quarterback, like, it can really take your team to the next level, like, no matter what. I mean, they got some pieces, they've been bad for a couple years, so they got high draft picks, they got some weapons now, so, and their O-line is, like, extremely beat up. Like, their whole O-line's destroyed right now. So,
yeah,
to put those kinds of numbers up with no line is crazy. But, yeah, Stroud looks amazing. He'll probably be Rookie of the Year, I think, by the end of it, unless Bryce Young just starts going crazy. But, him being out, or, like, he didn't do too well when he was playing, but he's been hurt, and, like, I think he's gonna play again next week. But I don't know. I just like that Texans team better, anyways, at this point. So, yeah. Those are my 2 surprises. I had another one, but you're probably gonna, yeah. I'll just let you talk.
Okay. I might need a sip of water before I get into this.
I'll take one for you.
Okay. The obvious biggest surprise is the Dallas Cowboys failing to beat the Arizona Cardinals. I sat on this podcast last week. I said the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in football. What do they do 3-4 days later? They just smacked me across my face. And now on my forehead, you might as well write "boo-boo" to fool because I was fooled. They went to Arizona. That was not the same team. They got manhandled. They got outplayed by a team that I said a few weeks ago on the podcast, Rob, a team that might as well tank for Caleb Plant. They weren't planning to tank on Sunday. They were planning to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and they did that.
I don't know.
To me, it just looks so off. The offense looked out of sync. And this is when adversity, this is when Dak Prescott is supposed to step up. When we had 3 offensive linemen out. Boo-hoo. Okay. Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL 3 days before the game. Okay. This is when you're supposed to have your franchise guy rise above adversity and help your team win a game that could potentially be a trap game. And Dak Prescott didn't do that. And he was one of the reasons why we lost this game. And it starts with Dak Prescott. It does. And then you look at the defense. They got gashed on the front 7. They gave up a total of 222 rushing yards to the Arizona Cardinals running game. And they were running the ball with a receiver and Rondell Moore. And then James Conner, I ain't saying he's bad, but come on now. They played Saquon week 1. They played Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall the first 2 weeks. And then Mike McCarthy, once again, did not know what to do. He was playing conservative. He was coaching conservative. Really didn't know what to do against the Cardinals defense that gave a lot of high coverage looks throughout the game. He didn't know what to do and adjust with the play sheet in his hand, which I would say could be a problem. He failed to cash in on red zone opportunities, only scoring 1 touchdown and 5 red zone trips against one of the worst teams in the league. What are you going to do when you play the 49ers in a few weeks? What are you going to do when you have to play the Eagles in a few weeks? What are you going to have to do when you got to play somebody good and you couldn't do this when we're playing the Cardinals? Come on, Mike McCarthy. And then Dak Prescott wants to be Superman. I understand. I saw the final play several times. Okay, I said it looked like they had a spy right in front of him. Dak, just run the ball and get yards. You're trying to throw into triple coverage, and you throw a game sealing interception at the 6 yard line. Like, I can't. Man, I didn't even want to watch football for the rest of the day. I was sick. I barely watched the Steelers or Raiders game after that. But man, when I talk about I was hurt, and that was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the 49ers defense is going to make me do while I'm watching the game.
It's I don't think that's going to be a very fun game for you, Tom. I won't lie to you, because if you let James Conner gas you like that, you know damn well Christian McCaffrey is going to come into town, and he's going to do his thing.
Bro, they
Rondell
Moore. They lined Rondell Moore up, a receiver at running back, and he was acting like he was Barry Sanders back there in the backfield. This cannot happen. This cannot happen again.
I don't know.
We're in trouble.
That game. It's like whenever the Cowboys play a bad team, they just play to their level. Like I've seen that time and time again with these like really bad teams. Like, and Dak, like you said, Dak throwing that game-sealing interception.
Oh,
that's I'm not gonna lie.
I know he had to see 3 colored red. We're wearing white and blue. How do you not know the difference of what color you're wearing, what team you're playing against? You had to see 3 red guys run across your face before you threw the ball.
He threw it right to Kaiser White, literally right to him, and that was terrible. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Tom. I was dying when he threw that interception.
Because
I'm not.
If you scored,
Sure.
you have the way how the game was going. You scored. You have 3 timeouts. And you could potentially try to get the onside kick with what's the guy's name? We got Fossil as our special teams coordinator. Whenever we do good things on special teams, whether it's blocking punts or going for onside kicks, since he's been there in Dallas, 90% of the time it works. So you still have a chance to win the game and have a game-winning drive if you're Dak. If you don't throw the interception, you cash in for points on that red zone opportunity. But he just turned the ball, and you can't do that. I mean, Cardinals, what they're doing, maybe they might turn out to be a good team down the line, but that's a game you can't. And the thing was, man, the Cowboys were a double point favorite in that game, 12 or more, and you lose by double digits to the Arizona Cardinals. How do you do that? How do you do that?
If anyone was crazy enough to take the Cardinals money line, props to you, because you came out very happy. But I will say, like, I was very surprised to see your defense give up that many yards. I mean, I didn't watch the full game. Like, I was watching parts of it. But to see that happen to y'all, like, I don't know. It just felt like classic Mike McCarthy-led Cowboys. Like, I'm not saying y'all are a bad team, but, like, when it comes to, like, gimme games like that, like,
It blows them.
It's either they make it really close for no reason or they blow it all together. Like, it's really bad.
Like, the coach oh, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just saying, and I've seen it too many times with them, like, on multiple occasions. Like, that's, like, your biggest flaw. It's, like, you don't win the games that you're supposed to. Or if you do, it's, it's not exactly a proud win, if that makes sense.
And the thing is like, I'm looking back at the stats. Mike McCarthy literally got out coached in this game, because I'm looking at it. You're looking at third down efficiency. You're the one calling plays now that Kellen Moore's not there. You go 9 for 16 on third down. Fourth down, you obviously didn't get your fourth down that you went for. You had the total plays was the Cowboys had 75 on offense. The Cardinals had 53, and you only had 16 points to show for it on 75 offensive plays. Then total drive, or we had 8 total drives. They had 9. But I'm looking at this. This cannot happen with him with the play sheet. And then the undisciplined again, like you said, in gimme games. These are games you're supposed to just take off. You blow your opponent out. You look forward to the next week. They're sitting there beating themselves up with 13 penalties. And you saw what happened when we did that in the past. Well, Mike McPenalties. When the more penalties, more times you hurt yourself, you're not in position to win the game. 13 penalties costed us 107 yards of offense.
Mm.
Yeah, it's coaching. That's why I said Dak and Mike McCarthy is going to be the ones that cost us going far this year. If it happens, it's going to be because of those two.
Yep. Exactly.
But my other surprise, I wish Soto was here. And I wish them Ravens that was commenting the other day was here, because that's a big surprise. The Colts beating the Ravens on the road without Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew at the quarterback position.
Oh my God.
Has to be talked about, because that's a put away game that the Ravens were supposed to have. They let the Colts come in there and upset City, and it happened. They beat them in overtime. Now I understand that towards the end of the game that Zay Flowers should have got called with the face mask, the Colts, and the pass interference. But it's the NFL. Sometimes calls aren't going to go your way. You should be in a position to put the team away, so you don't have to worry about the refs down the line. This is a team that didn't have Anthony Richardson. This is a team that still doesn't have Jonathan Taylor. This team is supposed to be a team that the Ravens are supposed to make a statement on after beating the Bengals in week 2, and they failed to do it. They look they look really lackluster, like they did week 1 against the Texans offensively, because I don't know what Lamar was doing against the Colts on Sunday. He really couldn't get going himself. And then you blow a game. You're competing with the Colts for over 70-plus minutes without Anthony Richardson in the game, with Gardner Minshew. And they got to play the Browns next week. It could be rough for the Ravens. So.
Oh, yeah. That defense looks legit this year. I'm not going to lie. Their defense, I think they might have at least a top 10 defense, if not top 5 right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were in the top 5 stat-wise, to be honest.
And I think
some of the games that happened, the Ravens defense did not look like the Ravens defense at all. They let Zach Moss run all over them. Like, my fantasy team was very proud of him, by the way. But yeah, I don't know what they were doing out there, and I had them in my top 5 last week, just like the Cowboys, and they both lost gimme games. Like, I understand it happens, it's football, but they had some scary flaws in both of those teams. So it just shows that any team can show weakness. Like, I'm sure at some point Dolphins are going to. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon, but I'm sure at some point a team's going to come in there and shock them at home or something like that.
Oh
yeah. No one's perfect. So we'll see. But yeah, I agree, Tom. Like, you can't lose that game at home. Like, I mean, at least y'all are in Arizona, right? When you lost?
Yeah, we were on the road, but still.
Yeah, y'all were on the road. Like, they were at home, and they lost to Gardner Minshew. Like, imagine how the fans were reacting to that game at the game. I can't even I can just picture it in my head right now.
Crazy.
Yeah, they made Zach Moss look like damn LT out there.
Yeah, they did. And it's just that's the other thing with the Ravens, because I am dying to find this stat, because it's getting to the point where every time they're in those scenarios with teams they should be beating, it always comes down to literally Lamar Jackson only having to get past the 45 of the other team's side. And you just set up a game-winning field goal. What would the Ravens really do if they didn't have Justin Tucker to kick them game-winning field goals all the time? Because 9 times out of 10, you already know it's a Cinderella ending to the storybook game that's being written in the books, because everybody knows if they're down by 2 with a minute or so, all he has to do is get to that opposing team's 45-yard line to kick a game-winning field goal. So I am dying to find that stat. That's going to be my homework. I'm dying to find that stat. What is Lamar Jackson? If he has so game-winning. Let me look how many game-winning drives he has. Lamar Jackson game-winning drives.
I'm willing to bet that at least 75% of them ended in field goals.
So, oh, that's my laptop. Look. So he had 8 game-winning drives. I know at least 5 of them have to be game-winning drives. At least, at least 5 of them had to be game-winning field goals by Justin Tucker. Has to be. Cause it's getting to the point where just set it up to the 45, he'll kick it for you. I want to see how good he would be if he didn't have Justin Tucker in those situations. Could he be that guy to have a solid game-winning drive without relying on a 50-yard field goal or 50-plus yard field goal that Tucker is capable of making?
How old is Justin Tucker? He's got to be getting pretty old.
He's been around for a while.
He has.
Tucker age. Justin Tucker is 33. He'll be 34 in November.
Okay, so he's got a couple years left because kickers, you can play to your, high 30s, almost 40 sometimes. I'm sure Justin Tucker will play for at least a few years, like at least 3 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, but Lamar going to be there for longer than that, I feel like, I mean, it's their franchise quarterback, or so we think at this point. But no, I seriously do think he should be their franchise quarterback. I have no hate against Lamar at all. But, like, you're right. Like, it would make life a lot harder for him if he didn't have the best kicker of all time. It would. Right? But at the same time, like, he's got to win that game at home. Did they receive first?
Yeah, they did. Yep, they sure did.
Got the ball. Oh my God, that makes it even worse.
Yep, they got the ball first.
Wow.
And they could have that excuse if they had 7 starters out. It's the NFL. Everybody's not going to be healthy.
I know. Yeah, it's like a lot of teams are banged up. Like I've dealt with that for many years, being a Giants fan, so I know the pain. But you got to win that game. Like you still have Mark Andrews, you still have Zay Flowers, you have weapons at receiver. I guess you don't really have a running back, but you had Gus Edwards. I mean, that should be enough to get it done, at least with that offense, But beats me. Hopefully it's a wake-up call for him.
Yeah. We'll see. And in that game, Lamar was carrying. He had 14 carries for 101 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns too.
Yeah, he was doing good that game. I mean, on the ground. I don't know how his starting stats were. I couldn't tell you.
He went 22 for 31 with 202 passing yards.
No touchdowns?
No.
Damn.
He did.
I mean,
have 2. I think he did have 2 fumbles in that game too.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. He looked kind of sloppy on Sunday too. Definitely got to play better moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll move on to the next segment. Which teams are you most surprised about after Week 3 of the NFL season? So, Rob, what teams are surprising you at this point of the NFL season?
I mean, I gotta give it to the Cardinals, man. I mean, I know they're 1-2, and it's not like they're gonna set the world on fire and go to the playoffs. I mean, if they did, that would be nuts. But if Kyler Murray comes back soon, by the way, I mean, it could be interesting. But every game played, like they were in that game against Washington, they were beating shit out for a half, and then we somehow came back and they just beat y'all. So and that's not I feel like all 3 of those teams, we're all at least pretty solid. It's not like I wouldn't say, well, I got some words about my team, but yeah, I mean, they've been in every game they've been in. I just think that they're a lot better than they're given credit for, and they're definitely not the worst team in the league anymore. That title belongs to the Bears. They are a disgrace to football right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say the Cardinals, the Texans, they've looked really good, even though they're 1-2 as well. They look really good. They got to be pleased with the progress they're making. You know, let's see. Dolphins, of course, that's, kind of self-explanatory. Putting up 70 points is unheard of, and their offense have the best offense right now. I mean, at least it's the hottest. It's not the best, It's at least top three. I can't
Yeah.
say nothing worse than that. And then I guess we'll kind of morph the two, I guess. Vikings and Broncos. Wow. They are both 0-3. This is exactly what we were talking about last week. If the Vikings go 0-3 and they start losing games, Kirk Cousins is going to leave. He's going to not leave. He's going to get traded. It's his last year with the team. He's going to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
He's not pretty old. I mean, he can go to a contender, hey, hello, Jets, you should be calling them right now. But, they're done. I mean, their defense is garbage. Like, Justin Herbert had like 40 completions for over 400 yards that game. He absolutely lit them up.
Yeah.
Like, it was Ian Allen. Jesus. Like, if only he did this last year when I had him on half my teams. But, yeah, the Vikings, they're done. And the Broncos, they're looking even worse. I did not expect this from a team led by Sean Payton. I mean, I know that they had their suspicions before the year, but everyone thought, hey, Sean Payton's coming to town. It's going to magically fix Russ. No, it hasn't. And their defense looks even worse. Their defense is just atrocious right now, and that's supposed to be the strength of that team. So without that defense, they are going nowhere fast. And they don't have really any assets because of the Russell Wilson trade. They're a bottom feeder as well. I don't see there's only maybe 2 or 3 teams worse than them. I just can't see them. There's no light at the end of the tunnel anytime soon for the Broncos. At least the Vikings, they have some pieces that they can, keep and in their rebuild. Obviously, if you trade Justin Jefferson, you look like a damn fool. I don't care what team you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no light at the end of the tunnel for the Broncos. They're screwed. But yeah, those are my teams.
Yeah, I like those. Especially the one that you said about the Dolphins. I'm really surprised about them. I think everybody knew they were going to be a good football team this year, but the way how they're starting off hot, 3-0, currently the only undefeated team left in the AFC. I think right now they are a top 3 team in the NFL. Have the best offense in the league. They look good at passing the ball and running the ball. Like you said, they just dropped 70 points on the Denver Broncos. They did that in dominating fashion. The way how they did it on offense against the Broncos, that offense looked like a real track star team. I know they got a lot of stars and a lot of speed, but doing that on a total of 71 plays, having 726 offensive yards, dropping 70 points like it's a college game, that offense looks really efficient. Mike McDaniels has them looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now the front runners for the MVP, because of how good the Dolphins are playing, it has to be Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. So I'm really surprised how good they look thus far in the beginning part of the season. They have definitely surprised me. Despite not even having one of their best players in Jalen Ramsey at the cornerback position, helping Xavier Howard. So they're still looking good without him.
When he comes back, that's about to change that defense. Like, they're not a great defense right now. I won't say that just yet. They're solid, but they're not great. But once they get him back, it's going to be a whole different story. He's going to change that defense.
Yeah.
I really think with him and Xavier, that's going to be scary. And they already have some good pass rushers. They got Bradley Chubb. I mean, he's one of the best in the league. I know they got a couple other playmakers in the defense. I like Jerome Baker, the middle linebacker they got.
Yeah.
But yeah, that team is definitely top 3, I would say, right now. Well, it's top 3 or top 4. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. I'd say they're top 3 right now, for sure.
Yeah. I put them up there with the Eagles and the 49ers in terms of best teams. I'm not speaking on best teams for a while because after what happened to me last week.
Yeah, Cowboys are out of my top 5 for now. They have fallen after that game. They're still hanging not too far from it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Another team that you said that I'm really surprised about is those Broncos. I mean, like, what was the point of bringing in Sean Payton? Because I thought this team would show some type of fight in them. I'm not expecting them. I wasn't expecting them to be a playoff team, but some type of improvement when you have a former Super Bowl winning coach in Sean Payton that's been one of the best offensive masterminds in football. But they're still the same team with Sean Payton. They still find themselves 0-3, last place in the AFC West. Russell Wilson has been outplayed by every quarterback he's played against this year. You look at his performance in week 1 against Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been outplayed. Week 2 against Sam Howell, outplayed. Last week, definitely outplayed by Tua Tagovailoa. And Sean Payton has been outcoached ever since he's been coaching for the Denver Broncos as well. So I don't understand why this man poked his chest out and act like he was the King Kong of Denver, Colorado, and basically went after Nathaniel Hackett and said the coaching performance that he had last year was unacceptable. Then you go around and telling people that Russell Wilson should be allowed to hug babies. And this is your time to start winning. You have nothing to show for it. So Sean Payton, I have to put on the whole team. Sean Payton as a coach, Russell Wilson as a quarterback. The whole entire team seems like they're not really bought into what Sean Payton is giving them on a weekly basis. They just look like they're out there to collect NFL paychecks because they're not playing like a team. And I think, honestly, looking at their schedule next week, it's a disgrace that they got to play the Bears. That game really should be shown on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, some cartoon broadcast, because this is going to be a clown game between two teams at the bottom at the barrel. It's bad, but
who's the favorite in that game? Like, it's probably the Broncos, but
it is the Broncos. It is the Broncos, but I couldn't even say there was no favorite because both of them, oh my gosh, they both are horrible. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that game, but I'm glad that's not a national televised game, though. Definitely glad about that. But those are my teams that are surprising me so far. Those two teams for sure, one in a positive way and then one in a negative way. All right, so we're going to move on to the next segment. Rob, is Justin Fields a bust?
I don't know, man. I mean, he sure is looking like it right now. I mean, last year was so promising. He looked really good, both in real life and in fantasy. Top quarterback in fantasy scoring. But he's regressed this year. He's back to square one at this point. I mean, everyone thought he was going to break out in a big way this year, and them getting DJ Moore, that could be another surprise team. We'll lump those two things together.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Bears would be this bad again. Like, they were bad enough last year, even with Justin Fields doing what he was doing. They only won, 3 games? But I don't even see them doing that this year. Like, they just look terrible on every aspect of the field. Like, Justin Fields, he has all the talent in the world. Don't get me wrong. He really does. But when it's in your head like that, man, like mental thing like it is with him, like, it's hard to fix that. Like, it really is. And, like, he's got a one-way ticket to the XFL right now with the way he's playing. I won't lie. Like, I can't lie. Like, his team ain't helping him, obviously, but, like, oh my God. Like, he's just terrible right now. I am, like, literally on the verge of, like, dropping him from fantasy. I have him starting on one of my teams, and it's been painful. Like,
he's a waste of a spot right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather have, like, some, like, honestly, anyone besides like Zach Wilson or like, Jimmy Garoppolo or someone like that. But, you know, I don't know, man. He's just I think right now he's a bust. I mean, he has talent. He really does. And he has a good arm. He obviously can run the ball. And make like off platform throws when he wants to. But it's looking like he's going downhill fast. Like his mental is just screwed up right now. If he can snap out of whatever trance he's in, then maybe he can climb out of it a little bit. But like at this point, it's not looking good for Justin Fields. Not.
Yeah, I hate to tell the truth, but as of now, I have to labelize him as a bust. This is not looking good. For someone that came into the NFL with so much potential as a dual threat quarterback and has yet to show it in both aspects of the game as a dual threat quarterback. Yes, we know he could be a playmaker running the football, but you have to put it all together if you're going to be a dynamic dual threat quarterback, making plays with your arm, making plays with your legs. And I've seen that. We've all seen him do it at his days with Ohio State. I've been watching him since the Netflix days when he was in high school with Beyond the Lights when he was a quarterback in Georgia.
Mm.
That's how good Justin Fields has been for so long. But for some reason, we haven't seen that same player that we saw at the high school level, at the collegiate level, climb up to the NFL. Right now, he as a starter, he has 5 wins and 23 losses to his resume. He's had 27 passing touchdowns to 25 interceptions, and as a passing touchdown and interception ratio. Currently, right now, this season has a QBR of 21.4. 21.4 as a QBR. And I just can't see, in 28 games that he started as an NFL starter, I just don't see it with him. He can't read defenses. He's not improving in the passing department. You're supposed to have a leap year with getting a number one wide receiver in DJ Moore. We've been raving about that for so long that Jalen Hurts looked average before A.J. Brown. And Josh Allen looked average before Stephon Diggs. And you saw what they did when they got a number one. This is what's supposed to, Justin Fields is supposed to be taking a leap in the right directions in terms of being a great dual threat quarterback, and you finally get a number one wide receiver. You can't even get him the ball downfield because you're not reading defenses the right way. So I just think I don't see it from him. I just think that as of right now, I have to call Justin Fields a bust in terms of being the guy that he once was in high school, the guy that he once was in college, the guy he's supposed to be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob, there's one thing I want to say about this. This honestly might not be the most popular thing or the most popular thought, but I do believe there is one guy that can save Justin Fields. Are you ready for who I'm about to say?
No.
That guy that can save Justin Fields right now is Greg Roman. Greg Roman, listen, hear me out. Greg Roman, I think you can bring him into the facility. You can bring him into the franchise. He doesn't have to be the offensive play caller. He doesn't have to be the coordinator, but you can hire him to help as a personnel option for Justin Fields because he knows how to utilize dual threat quarterbacks. He has a history of bringing the best out of dual threat quarterbacks, helping Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers get to the Super Bowl, helping Lamar Jackson have the best season of his NFL career, winning an MVP back in 2019. So I don't think that you have to bring him back as an NFL play caller, as an offensive play caller. But I think if you have him in the building and have him have his thoughts and his say of how to use Justin Fields, I think that could work because he's not running the ball like he normally does. I mean, I think he has under 10 scrambles this year as a quarterback. For someone that nearly broke Lamar Jackson's regular season rushing record last year, he's barely running the ball. It's like they want him to be a pocket passer. And that's not what he is. So I think it's not the best decision, but at this point, you're being 0-3. You gotta try something because if you don't, they're gonna move off of him. I think they're gonna get a quarterback in the draft if they don't see some type of improvement from Fields soon.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, at least like, if not a top pick, like at least somebody in like the second round or third round. Like they need something. They need a veteran. I don't know. They need something. I feel like anyone could be better than him right now. I mean, that team is just straight garbage, but at the same time, like, god damn, like I mean, Justin Fields is not helping like at all.
No.
So at least last year he was doing things. I mean, that team was just too bad. Like, did they even get any better? Like, did they not have a draft? Did they not sign anyone? Like, what were they? What's going on? Like, did they not get DJ Moore? Like, I guess he's just invisible. Chase Claypool is just lazy. He's so talented. He could be so good. He could be literally a top 20 receiver. And he is just garbage because he doesn't try. He doesn't want to play football.
Yeah.
Clear.
They got a lot of problems on their roster, though. They do got a lot of holes they got to fix. Their defense is not really good. They have no pass rush. Hardly a secondary. I know Eddie Jackson is still there, but he's not the same player that he once was a few years ago. They got to have a lot of improvement. But I'm telling you, if Justin Fields does not show something, they got 2 draft picks in the first round next year because what the Panthers had to give up to get Bryce Young, so they're going to have the Panthers' first round pick next year. They're going to cash that in to get a quarterback if he doesn't turn it around. I think it's really important for him to show something and not blame anybody else but the person in the mirror and show that he could be their franchise quarterback for the sake of the future.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 100%. They need to do something. Something's not working. Everything's not working. So, yeah. I don't know what they're on.
All right, Rob, we're going to move on to the final segment, something that happened just a few hours ago. The trade that the NBA world was waiting for. Damian Lillard was traded. But what are your thoughts on Damian Lillard being traded to the Milwaukee Bucks?
I like it. I mean, I know they had Drew Holiday, and obviously he's gone. He's on the Blazers now, and they don't plan to keep him, by the way. They plan to trade him pretty much immediately. But I love it. I mean, they went out and, Giannis has needed he's let's be honest, he's needed another superstar. I understand he won that one ring by himself. I'm not really by himself. He had a good team. Drew Holiday was definitely no slouch. He was a very good point guard. And, Chris Middleton was a good scorer. They had Brogdon for a little bit. I think he was on that championship team. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they had some pieces. But now they look downright scary. I mean, that makes them probably the best team in the East. I mean, one of them, if not the best. I mean, they're going to miss Drew's defense, but that's going to compensate with Lillard's 35, 40-plus points a game. He is going to take that team to a whole new level. It's Giannis and Lillard on a team together is crazy. That.
It's happening.
And, what did they even give up besides Holiday?
Bro, I'm about to read it to you. Look, literally.
I felt like it was nothing.
It was nothing. Basically, full trades because it was a 3-team trade, okay? The Bucks got Damian Lillard. The Trailblazers got Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton. I don't even know who the heck this is. I'm not even going to pronounce his name or try to because I can't pronounce it. It don't sound relevant. But it's some player. They got a 2029 first-round pick and 2 pick swaps. And then the Suns got Nurkic from them, from the Trailblazers. They got Grayson Allen from the Bucks. I don't know who Nasir Little is or Keon Johnson. But that's who everybody involved in the trade. So basically, what makes me mad is this man could have been a part of Miami Heat. They were just being petty because it seems like to me all it was going to take was Tyler Hero and 2 to 3 first-round picks if you wanted that, and then we could have got Damian Lillard because they all summer long kept saying, trade packages weren't good enough. What did they really get? They basically traded Drew Holiday to the Trailblazers. They got I mean, they got Drew Holiday from the Bucks. They basically traded Damian Lillard to the Bucks, and then basically a 2029 first round pick and pick swaps because the other half of the trade is coming to the Suns and elsewhere. I mean, they're giving Grayson Allen and other pieces to the Suns, but not directly to the Trailblazers. So it's messy to me. I'm not a fan of this trade because my boy is not where he's supposed to be right now.
I definitely think, they could have got a lot more for him. I think they could have got at least like a B level like superstar. And I mean, I guess Drew. Well, they didn't even get Drew. Well, no, they did. I'm tripping, but they don't even plan to keep him. So like, they better get a damn good package for Drew. I mean, or else like they just basically gave him away. Like you said, yeah, all that whining and complaining that the Heat wouldn't give him. They could have definitely gave him a better package. I feel like than the Bucks. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your picks are looking like, but
man, I mean, how I feel about NBA picks is I feel like they are important, but if you're not picking inside the top 10, a first round pick really isn't that important in the NBA.
no.
Because you get easily if you're giving multiple first round picks for a star, you have a chance to win like the championship that year compared to I get first round picks in 2029 and 2030, but they might not be a top 10 pick. Okay. I'd rather do that. If I'm an NBA team, I'm handing out first round picks like it's free candy because at that point they don't really mean much if you're not picking inside the top 10. I mean, these guys coming in the NBA also are like 18, 19 years old, so it's going to take them time to develop regardless. But that's why I'm saying for the Miami Heat, they could have easily got him, giving up Tyler Hero 2 to 3 first round picks, maybe some pick swaps. They were tripping because this is not right. Honestly, now he's lucky. He really is lucky that he said the only teams that he would be okay with going to if it wasn't the Heat was the Bucks and I think the Nets. Because I wanted to see what would happen. Because I don't know if you saw, but the Raptors were actually the front runners to get him. Like 2 days ago. Yeah, the Raptors. I think if he went to the Raptors, that trade wouldn't have fell through because he would have never showed up. But yeah, the Raptors were the front runners. Then all of a sudden the Bucks got in the mix. They got him, but I just can't believe that this was literally a finger roll layup. You could put the jelly, everything you want on this layup. He was supposed to be a Miami Heat member. Like, come on, Pat Riley. I don't care if they're not talking to you. You gotta seal the deal because you just saw what Jimmy Butler just put the team on his back last year, getting them all the way to the finals of the AC.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, you just played a much better team in the Denver Nuggets, and you lost. You got gentlemen swept in the finals. But if you get Damian Lillard, you got a chance to get right back there, if not win the championship. And Pat Riley failed to secure it. But I'm with you on this, Rob. I do believe that it does make them the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Bucks. They have to be the favorites because you're having one of the best point guards in the league, definitely one of the best point guards of this generation, playing with arguably the best player in the NBA right now, in Giannis. This is about to be scary in the East. I can only imagine. I mean, on a nightly basis, they could just take turns. Hey, you be the dominant. Hey, you be the dominant. Because you're getting two of the best in the league. I think this is going to be like one of the best duos in the NBA this year. And I like their potential lineup. Like you said, it sucks that they couldn't keep Drew Holiday, but you're trading in to get a player like Damian Lillard. So the defensive aspect is gone, but you're making up for it for the high scoring that Damian Lillard is going to bring you on a nightly basis. So
yeah,
I like the lineup. Damian Lillard at the point guard, Chris Middleton. You have Bobby Portis, Giannis, and George Lopez. I think that starting five would be fit.
It's not George Lopez.
I mean, Brook Lopez. I'm sorry. I said George Lopez.
Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez. Sorry, Brook Lopez. Yes. If George Lopez is out there, it would not be a dominant starting five. But, yes, Brook Lopez. But that starting five is, oh, my gosh. That's a great one. But I do believe, let me look at their roster because we just said they gave up Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday. So
You know who is one of the losers of this trade?
who is that?
The Sixers and all their fans. They're definitely one of the losers of this happening because they've been like, one of the top teams in the East for a few years now, and like, they haven't really, they've been consistently eliminated and they haven't really gotten over the last couple of years, and I feel like they're only just going to get worse at this point. Like, it's hard to see them at this point overtaking the East like they once looked like they would, because I think Embiid's out of there soon.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I think he's almost done in Philly, and their fans got to be sick right now. But yeah, I don't know. Like, they're sick. The whole East is sick, to be honest, because they're definitely the favorites now. There's no way they're not. I mean, I don't know. That team is scary, man. It's scary.
I'm looking.
I like Brooke Lopez has been he's revived his career there. Like, he's looked very good there defensively. Bobby Portis is solid scoring. Chris Middleton, he's getting up there in age, but you know, I feel like they should go get like another piece or two, like something low key, but I still think they're going to be favorites.
Yeah, I think they're like what the Suns needed, some depth on their bench, and if they can get that, they're fine. But I think, yeah, you're right, especially 76ers. They've always been in the mix for the last few years, but cannot capitalize, and I think they're stuck with James Harden right now. But everybody else, I mean, the only team that really made significant moves during the offseason in the East was the Boston Celtics getting Porzingis. But this move overtakes what the Celtics did, getting Porzingis and matching him up with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because now the Bucks, you have Damian Lillard and Giannis playing together. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch, too.
Mm.
And I just think that though you have to say those two in order. You have to say the Bucks and the Celtics, and I think everything else in the Eastern Conference is wide open right now because nobody really got better during the offseason.
No.
But I am looking forward to how this is going to play out. So I'm gonna ask you this before we go off, Rob. Bucks, are they going to win the finals?
Man, it's too early to say, but I think they're sure looking like they're going to get there at the very least. I mean, that Nuggets team, if they play at the same level that they did last year, I could very well see them going back. The Lakers got a lot better too.
Yeah, they did.
They definitely got better. I think they'll be fighting for it again. As long as LeBron is there, they're gonna be close every year. I feel like that one year that they didn't, make it very far when they weren't as good. Well, not last year, the year before. I think that was just a fluke, to be honest. I mean, I guess that team was like not good. Like they didn't have many pieces around LeBron, but it is what it is. Shit happens, but I think they're going to be fighting for it. Obviously the Celtics are going to be in the mix, but I think the Bucks can beat them now. Yeah, because Porzingis is not guarding Giannis. No one can guard Giannis.
No.
Yeah, I mean, besides that, I don't know.
Is.
Bro, our team, the Knicks, right? I do think we have a good team, but we have all these damn draft picks just sitting there. Like, we have so many first-round picks. Like, we have like 10 of them. Like, we're almost getting to like, well, we're not quite at the Thunder's level, but we have a lot still. Like,
Cash in a star.
That's what I've been hoping for years now, but it just never happens. Disappointment after disappointment. So, yeah, I think they can win the finals, but I won't say that they will with certainty yet because there's some dogs out there in the West that are looking pretty good too.
Yeah, they're for sure gonna be a good team. I don't know if I could put my finger on it and say, But I can definitely see them coming out of the East. I don't know if they get to the finals, they win it, but right now they have to be the favorites. But look, there's always it's always interesting playoff time. I mean, you can't count out certain teams like the Heat or the Celtics. I think they could give them a run for their money. I'm not sure they can beat them now in a 7-game series. But and then you look at the West, like you said, the Lakers, the Nuggets still being the champs. It's going to be interesting. Oh, and the Warriors looking to come back into the mix. It's going to be it's going to be interesting this NBA season. But definitely, this is going to be a team to watch this season after getting Damian Lillard in that blockbuster trade. Still petty that they couldn't trade him to the Miami Heat after all that bickering over the last 3 to 4 months. But it is what it is.
Yep, it sure is. It sucks for y'all. I mean, who do you have? Who do you have point guard
Bro,
now?
we're stuck with Kyle Lowry. Bro, this is not even okay. Like
It's
we
not. It's
we
not.
literally let Gabe Vincent just like slide in free agency because we were banking on getting Damian Lillard. Now you're stuck with Kyle Lowry, who is not it. He's not it anymore. We gotta run him at the point guard all season long, bro. Until you find something better. But what are you gonna get for better? I don't see nothing better for that.
Go get Drew Holiday.
Yeah, they did say we're in the mix for him, but is Pat Riley gonna pull the trigger?
Well, should be. If you don't get him, then you're screwed. Y'all aren't going back to the finals this year. I hate to say it, but
he would be a good fit playing with Jimmy Butler.
He would.
Caleb Martin.
Y'all would be. Yeah. That would be like the best defensive backcourt, one of the best in the league. Like they both are top tier defenders, so they'd be strapping out there if they both were on the same team. Yeah, I like that fit a lot. Actually, y'all should definitely go get him.
Hopefully, I think that'd be even more interesting because Drew Holiday said, "I want to finish my career with the Bucks." Just yesterday, he said that, and he got traded. So I think that may even make the matchup between the Heat and Bucks even more entertaining and more like a more like competitive game with Drew Holiday basically playing against being on a rival and competing against his old team. So I like that a lot if we could, but I would love that a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get on the phone with us since Lillard ain't involved in the trade no more. I still can't believe that.
Or so we thought.
I still can't believe that.
Oh, well. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for us tonight on tonight's episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, and Rob Cerasuolo signing off. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys on next week's episode.
See ya.